Hey everyone, this is History Clarified, and today with your Wargame Wednesday, we are playing Commander the Great War. This is an awesome little strategic World War I game. I'm going to show you guys kind of why I like it so much, play some turns, and maybe even turn it into a campaign if we like. So we are starting as the Entente, we are Serbia. I'm just going to get going, allow Austria to attack us. Right now it's the 23rd of July, 1914. And I will explain the game mechanics as we go. So kicking this off, you can see that the AI moves pretty quickly. You get these nice little blue arrows when units are moving and red arrows when they are attacking. Everything is on a step system out of 10, very similar to Panzer General or Panzer Corps. The larger infantry units, those are your regular infantry. They're called infantry. You can see right here, these smaller ones, they are garrisons. They are a little bit weaker. We have cavalry. These little guys here, they are small garrisons. There's naval combat. There's a lot of stuff to unpack, so let's get going. So first things first, we have this unit right here. You'll notice it only has a 5. It's at half strength. I'll really quickly show these stats down here. You have base defense, high defense if it has a chance to entrench or be in good terrain like rough. How much entrenchment? Efficiency is a big deal. So this unit is at 9 efficiency. It is not fighting at 100%. Down here you have ground attack, air attack, naval or armor. We're in 1914 right now, so armor is not a big deal. Shock is going to be how much extra damage you do. Assault is going to attack efficiency. So you kind of want high shock, assault, and artillery values because then you'll make them less efficient. And then down here, range, movement, line of sight, and quality. So Serbia right now, the Kingdom of Serbia, we have over 100% morale. We're really happy. We have no navy. We have 1 railroad capacity. So I'll show you guys right here. We're starting next to a rail line, and I can move this unit, and I will. So that was my rail capacity. We have 12 ammunition, and so artillery units, they use 10 to bombard. Naval units use, I believe, 3. We have 420 manpower and 28 production. So let's get this weakened garrison off the line because it's going to get triple teamed by these Austrian infantry units. We're going to move this cavalry up here, take positions along this river. We're not quite going to attack because we really don't have the strength. We just want to kind of hold out. Right down here is repair mode. You can repair units pretty easy. They pop up in those big white hexes. You click on them, they repair. If you need to upgrade, you can do that. Simple stuff. It's a very intuitive game. It just takes a little bit. If you mouse over units, you'll get these combat prognosis indicators, and right now it is not worth it for me to attack anything. I have 27 production points left, so an infantry unit costs 20 production. 10 infantry, so it'll get into my manpower, takes 4 turns, and it does cost upkeep, so depending on if you're like the Russians or someone who's going to try to go really manpower heavy, you do have to pay upkeep, watch out. Research, we're trying to get industrial warfare, more machine guns, anti-air. Planes are still pretty crude in 1914, not a huge issue. And then barbed wire. You can rush certain researches by clicking focus, and I'm going to do that at this time. And diplomacy. In 2 turns, France, Belgium, and Germany are going to join the fight. Since we are the Entente, or on the Entente side, we'll get France and Belgium. They will get Germany, and then Britain, Russia, Turkey, and Italy will be jumping in eventually. So let's hit end turn and see how it goes for the Kingdom of Serbia. And they're bombarding us. They're trying to take out our efficiency. They're picking on our smaller units, which is smart. It's exactly what I would do. They're attacking this cavalry because cavalry is really not meant to be a defensive unit. I just can't spare the manpower. So it's turn 2, July 30th. That infantry unit still won't be here for quite a while. And let's see what we can do. So we have 2 pretty weakened units, about which I'm not super happy. I think I'm going to get the cavalry off the line, plug the garrison in. And if you see, these, I can't attack with a garrison against these infantry units. I would be taking half my steps or almost a quarter of my steps at least right now, because attacking across the river would be dumb. No use there. I do have 11 production, so I think my best bet is just going to be repair everything. Let's check the efficiency of these units. 9 efficiency, 9 efficiency, but his entrenchment is 4, so I don't want to disrupt that. I will just repair for the time being. However, this guy, this infantry unit for Austria, is down to 9 efficiency. Ooh, he has 1 assault. I don't like that. But I have a nice fresh infantry unit. I have more than 10 ammunition. So I'm going to bombard him, even though there's no damage there. He took 3, I took 1. So a little bit of counterattack. Tell the Austrians that Serbia is not just going to allow them to waltz in and take our country. Nothing doing on those ones, though. That's not worth attacking. Nothing down here is. Probably going to end turn. So these first turns go pretty quickly when it's just Austria and Serbia. But now, oh, the Germans have launched their attack. And they have taken Liege, and they are now attacking Brussels. So the war is really getting kicked off. I love this game because it gives you that feel of the early days of July and August, how it was a crisis and it just kind of spiraled out of control. And a lot of games might start a little later when you get all the major powers, but I like starting with Serbia because it gives you that feeling of a localized conflict becoming something much more insane. And you can feel the spiral and you can feel the war building. And while right now Austria is being pretty aggressive attacking, this game, with its entrenchment scores and its research and its manpower and stuff, you really do get the feeling that it becomes World War I in that. And yep, here's Germany. They're on Austria's side. France is in and Belgium is in. Liege is down. I like that it's those little newspapers. It kind of gives you a feeling of being back then, like I said, the spiral out of control. War effort is increasing, so our production is going to be better and more efficient for Serbia. We have our other powers. It's now August. And let's actually start with Serbia. Now you'll notice I can't attack. We only have 8 ammunition. So if you go to management, you can see we make 3 ammunition per turn. I can upgrade it, but it would take more production. And right now I can't spare that. I only have 7. I'm really just paying everything I have in upkeep. So since this unit is bordered on 2 hexes and he's only bordered on 1, I am going to swap them because this is going to be a more vulnerable hex. I'm going to swap these guys. And again, it might not be the best thing for entrenchment, but you can see the little trenches here. There is a visual cue, which is nice. So Serbia is going to be Serbia. That's going to be very static. Now France, one thing I like is historically, France had a major issue in that they wanted Alsace-Lorraine. And so right here, the Germans just have a bunch of garrisons, and my army is down here basically in the wrong spot. Because the Germans with the Schlieffen plan, they are coming through this way and trying to arc into Paris. My army's down here, so I have to cut up and try to stop them. Now, if you look, France has more manpower and certainly more production, but only 1 railroad capacity. You actually get an event later that simulates using the Paris taxis to try and stem the German tide. So he can go all the way down there. And really, this is just where you desperately try and get your men in position. So it's going to seem weird, but I really just need to make a stable line and start getting some of these units away from this. I need to try to get down to Paris. I don't mind having him at Verdun. Oh, this is rough. See, they really simulate just how the French feel so out of position. My artillery's in the wrong spot. I'm worried my planes are mildly vulnerable. But I'm going to attack their planes. Okay. Planes early on will attack efficiency, but they aren't really strong enough to do damage, and that's fine. Let's rush my cavalry to where they need to be. And so Belgium. There's a couple strategies you can do with Belgium. I think at this point it's more useful for me to just cede Belgium. I know I'm giving up Brussels without a fight. And Antwerp, I want them to work for Antwerp. I'm going to sacrifice that unit. I think I have to. But Belgium, it is what it is. They're not really able to hang. I don't want them to sneak into Verdun, so I have to leave them there. Now, what I will do is move the French Navy. So, Austria, I want them bottled up here. I don't want them being able to come out and contest the Mediterranean. One thing to note, though, I'm not going to get too aggressive because navies will fight better near their home waters. So, and I might as well cut this off in case the Germans start getting cheeky with submarines. So I don't want to fight the Austrians like up here because they will have a huge advantage. And the last thing, I need to make some more troops. So for now, let's just make 2 infantry. I really just need a nice stable line. Right around here, it will be the Miracle on the Marne. They simulate that really well. We get Britain next turn, which can only help. Let's see if we can hold out against the Germans and the Austrians. But you'll notice, like, this game, even when I'm talking and explaining, it goes really quickly. It's a system I really like. They actually have a Commander World War II. I haven't really heard a lot about it. I don't think it's very popular, but I had it. I enjoyed it. I'll see if I can get it and play it up on this computer. This is my editing and filming computer. And show you guys Commander World War II, because I think it's a neat game. Probably, if you're a fan of Strategic Command, it's not going to do the job. And you'll notice this is kind of just an updated Strategic Command World War I. Little flashier. It has a little bit more of that Panzer Corps look, but I enjoy it. It's steps. It's everything. They're attacking Paris. And if you saw that -1 pop up, but the garrison unit wasn't hurt, what that was a strategic attack. We now get artillery research, so we can make better artillery. That's sweet. I have the French army out of Africa. That's beautiful. So the game is cool there. It's showing that this was a world war. Yes, I know they attacked my actual city. Brussels has fallen. And we get Britain. So a lot to talk about in turn 4. We can't make anything as the Belgians anymore, but we knew that was going to happen. So, as I was saying, this game shows that this was a world war, that these were empires. The Empire of Great Britain, the Empire of France, and they used colonial troops, and colonial troops were part of it. I know with the movie Dunkirk, just a few years back, there was a lot of talking and controversy about, troops of color, and if they were actually there and if they weren't. And because these were empires, like they actually did use troops of color. That was a thing. That was real. And it's interesting of this game to show that. I think it's cool. I have my not so great line. I need to get these guys off the line if I can eventually move this garrison unit down. I just cannot afford. Yep, there we go. They're going to have to keep repairing that. I can't afford to have my line broken up. Antwerp, I should say, will be a pain for them. But I have a nice little line. It's not a great line, but it is a line. These guys are on the wrong side of the river, but I need to delay the Germans until I can get this cavalry up and make more units, because right now I have a small garrison there, small garrison back up there. Not good enough. So Britain's here. Let's mess with them with our submarines, and let's take advantage of the massive fleet. I am going to deploy it. The home fleet is bigger than the German high seas fleet. And I want them out there. I want the Germans to know they're there. I will set some cruisers to make sure that even when Antwerp gets completely cut off, they are partially supplied. And I'm going to block off the channel. I probably could have been more aggressive, blocked it off there. Because now for London, I'm going to have them disembark from Portsmouth. It's just safer. I'm being cautious, I know. And there we go, our channel is blocked off. So now, using Portsmouth, I can ferry troops across all I like. Once the rest of the home fleet gets here, I can have a little bit more of a blockade. Because the German Navy will attack, and they have some submarines that are going to creep around. And you do not want troop ships getting hit by submarines. It's very, very detrimental to the troops. Britain starts with a ton of production. They don't have a lot of manpower, but they have a lot of production. And I need to... Let's actually get a fighter and some infantry. And now Britain, though, even with a lot of the focus, and we'll move out some Canadian troops, because Canada will help us out. I think I get an actual Canadian Corps event, so I'm not going to worry about these garrisons right at this time. But Britain can't just build here on the home island and help France, because eventually down here you'll notice I don't have any good troops in the Middle East. Absolutely not. And with diplomacy, Turkey will be in between 6 and 8 turns. So I need to keep an eye on that and make sure that I have something down there, even if it's just garrison units, by the time Turkey's in. France can build another infantry. Because France has the extra manpower, I am going to let them do that heavy lifting. Belgium cannot actually do anything with its production, but I'm going to go to research and see what I want to rush. So for artillery, I can go poison gas, counterattack, but I just want damage. Because that ground attack will do damage to them, but that bombard ability, that's going to be what hits their efficiency. And later in the game, when it turns into static warfare, you are going to want to go against their efficiency so you can dig out really entrenched units. Because otherwise, it does simulate that you're attacking into trenches, and it goes about as well as you'd think. All right, let's do, how about one last turn and see how they respond. You just saw there, the game is smarter than me. It gives me a warning that's like, hey, genius, you didn't move Serbia. You forgot about them. And I love that. If you are busy talking like me or focusing on some of the bigger fronts, it will tell you to move Serbia and do what you need to do. So his efficiency's 9, but see now the Austrians, since they've stopped attacking so much, he has built up some entrenchment, so it's not going to give me even odds like it would before. I am going to just let them be, because you can see at the bottom it's comparing my assault against their entrenchment, and even though it's a weakened unit, I don't like their odds. I'm on the defensive. It really is just in my interest to let Austria tire themselves and let Britain and France and soon to be Russia do most of the work. So let's see, and wow. Aggressive. It's only a light cruiser, but the Germans are throwing out some of their dreadnoughts and battleships. I did not expect that this early. And Austria is bringing some artillery, bringing its planes, and we have German troops already bailing out the Austrians. Usually you'll see Germany help out when it comes to Russia, but I'm really shocked to see the AI putting any sort of German units on Serbia. Like, Serbia is not what they need to be focusing on. And you'll notice a lot of openings here. If I were way more aggressive, I could probably try to attack in, but I don't need to. I'm the Entente, soon to be, known as the Allies. I can play the long con. It's really not a big deal to me, because now we get Russia. War effort is going up. Russia's on the Entente. And I have the first convoys going. So you get these convoys that automatically move. throughout your different ocean zones. And the Germans get them. They get the ore from Sweden. And the British get them from North America. France gets some too. And it's cool that the game shows submarine warfare like that. If you attack those convoys, they reduce in size and scale, and that's fewer production points that the enemy country gets. So you get a ton of production points. It's like, I think, between 30 and 100, depending on the country and the convoy, if you get a full convoy in 100%. Yep. And you'll notice here, you can only attack submarines if you start next to them. So my pre-dreadnought can attack it. My very weak armored cruiser can attack it, which wouldn't go well. But let's bring down the home fleet. And you'll notice I get these nice green hexes. That means I have the home advantage. I don't know why the Germans did this and got so aggressive. And I destroyed a battleship. You do not want to lose dreadnoughts and battleships. It hurts national morale, and it hurts it a lot. So the Germans now, they are going to be in trouble, which I absolutely love. They got super aggressive, and now they can pay for it. As much as I want to attack with this, I kind of want to figure out this bulge. So I just need to move this. And I need to start pulling these units back. I don't want to lose Verdun. I know it's kind of an awkward bulge here. But I need to get the garrison at least behind the river. These guys are a little stronger. And go from there. Let's see. And I'm going to attack the submarine at least a little bit. I need to move this unit into a port. It'll be safe in the ports. It's really suicidal for anything to attack. I don't like that now. This infantry unit has to wait, but since there's a submarine that got in here anyway, not much I can do. I can leave Antwerp in partial supply and block the sub off, but I think subs might be able to run through that. Let's find out, though. Antwerp will be fine. My Serbian units are ready. That's awesome. They keep hammering away, but I am just going to repair, defense, and go from there. He'll be ready soon. Let's focus on this blockade so that Austria doesn't get fancy. And there we go. The Austrian fleet is already neutered. Kind of scary I don't start with anything on Malta, but... Oh, and Russia. Look at Mother Russia. Well, Turkey's not in yet, but let's get that set up. Put some stronger units in there. I will need to build up on the Turkish border. I can try to block the straits, but you'll notice Turkey will end up having home fleet advantage, whereas I will not. But I'll at least scout out with some submarines. And we kind of have a decision as Russia. We can get really, really hyper-aggressive and start attacking, or we can be on the defensive. I don't know if I'm ready to take on the High Seas fleet. Let's move them out of port, but keep them in the home fleet advantage area. I don't know. The Germans are doing weird stuff with their location. So let's do a little bit of moving up and aggression. And let's test them. Let's see what they have. This is probably more conservative than you should be as the Russians. But if I attack too strong into Prussia here, I leave Poland a little bit vulnerable. Let's see what they got. I think move these guys right down here to the border. And Russia, let's make 2 infantry. That's kind of going to be the key to victory. Out infantry them. You really want a ton of Russian troops. And then once you get a little more settled, you can start building up lots of artillery and air. But until then, we won't. Moscow's so far away, I'm just going to wait on the rail lines. Britain can definitely build more stuff. And I'm going to start getting a garrison ready to fight the Ottomans. France, we can get more infantry, which I don't know if we need. I'm actually making quite a bit of infantry. Maybe I'll save that for an artillery piece or extra air. And I think we'll call it a day here. So next time, we will check out the response of these Central Powers, and we'll keep going. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you still enjoy the war game videos. I'm not quite ready to drop them yet, even though I've been pivoting to doing more history content, but that's why comments, likes, all that lets me know what you guys want to see and not just what I think is best for the channel. And if you enjoy the content, I always appreciate a subscription, and as always, stay excited about history.